to invest in yourself? As entrepreneurs, we're all about making money. Make money, make money. The more money we make, the happier we'll be, the more that we'll have. That is one of the biggest lies that we believe. Making more money does not mean you have more money. It just means you spend more money. As an entrepreneur, you're probably spending lots of money investing in marketing, sales, client attraction, lead generation. But have you ever thought about investing in a money coach, a wealth activator? This is the key to building wealth, to keeping more of the money in your pocket. If that sparks interest, go into the description and click on Wealth Accelerator Call. Let's spend 20 minutes together talking about how you're building your finances in your business. Today, we are jumping on this podcast interview with Heather Boers, who is the founder of Wilder Profits and my favorite, the Directory on School. School is a platform way better than Facebook. I'm putting it out there, you guys. You want to play, you want to have true interactions and connections without being sanctioned, you have to come here and you have to get into the Directory on School. This is where entrepreneurs connect, collaborate, and grow visibility together. Heather's work explores the intersection of money, mindset, community, and opportunity, helping people shift from competition to collaboration so income and opportunities can flow more naturally. And you know, if you've been here for a hot minute, I love collaborations. I love boosting you all and helping you get visibility so that you can make more money and then learn how to keep it. Thank you so much, Heather, for being here. I am so excited to have you on this show. Tell us, what was your journey like before you started Wilder Profits, the directory? Tell us what younger Heather was like with her money.
Oh my goodness. The younger version of myself with money was put it into a savings account and don't ever spend it. And then I would get to a point where I was so frustrated because I kept denying myself the things that I truly wanted, that I would then go splurge on something really stupid. And then I'd repeat the cycle. Well, I felt bad for that purchase, so now I'm just going to save everything. And it was a vicious cycle of
Mm.
saving and splurging and saving and splurging. And then I realized that I learned that from my dad, that that's exactly what he did. He would pay the bills and then he put it in savings, and then he would get tired of not enjoying the money that he was making, and he'd go and splurge it on something that was just a real quick, like you always say, a quick dopamine hit. That's what it would be.
And it's amazing what we pick up from our parents and, these patterns. And then we wonder, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And taking all of our money, that reminds me of one of the money archetypes, Harry the Hoarder. I think that's who you are, right? Harry the
Yeah.
Hoarder.
Yep.
And that sense of, I need to protect it, I need to save it because it'll be all gone. And we all have that in us. I mean, I was just my husband and I were talking the other day. I love to spend money. I'm Sal the spender. And we were talking about our assets. Like, we worked our entire lives saving all this money to enjoy in retirement. And now we're spending it and the market's going down. He's like, oh, we got to slow down. We can't spend the money. It might be all gone. And I'm thinking, no, that limited mindset, like, we worked our entire lives, follow the system, put money away, and now it's time to enjoy it. But there's still that part of us that pulls away and says, no, it might be all gone. I can't spend it. So save and splurge, right? But enjoying when you are splurging and having that balance is so important. So what helps you to have that balance so that you can safely do it? Or is that something that you're still working on?
Oh no, that's definitely something I'm still working on. I heard a quote years ago that was, what you do in one area of your life is what you do in all areas. And I've
Mm-hmm.
realized that I don't pay attention. And I feel like maybe it was my way of avoiding um the pain or the irritation of maybe not being good with money, or just avoiding having to look at it. Um, so what I would do is I'll go to the grocery store and I will buy groceries. I won't look at the prices of them. And then I'll ring out. I won't look at the total, and I'll just get out to the car and I'll realize, oh my gosh, I don't even have any idea how much money I just spent. Like, not even a clue. And it's that kind of thing where I'm going, okay, I can't be doing this anymore. I do need to pay attention, because There are certain things like my $7 or $8 coffee from the local coffee store that I could make for $1.50 at home. It's like, though, yes, it's fun to splurge on those every once in a while and enjoy it as a day out. But do I need to do that every single day? And if
Hmm.
I do it every single day, it's no longer fun. It just becomes part of the routine. So I
Right.
kind of took that splurge away from me by doing it too frequently. And now it's like, okay, I can cut back on that. Um, yeah. So it's kind of like that.
Yeah. And when you think about cutting back, like a lot of the people in the audience are like, I am tired of being restrictive. I mean, after my bankruptcy at 22, I lived on a very restrictive budget and I was miserable. And I just think, oh, I need to make more money. So I went out and, did 3 side gigs on top of my full-time job. So when we talk about restrictive or cutting back, like how does it make you feel when you go through that process?
Well, let me tell you one thing. It's really hard, especially in a marriage, when you've got one person who's very restrictive and the other person who's maybe not restrictive, but a lot less restrictive. Because on my end, I'm going through and I'm like cutting back in all of these areas. And I'm so to the point where it's just like, I haven't, I remember the story you were talking about where you're like, I just want a brand new pair of jeans. Like, I haven't bought myself a brand new pair of jeans in years. And I want to go out and spend the money on myself to just get a new shirt or a new pair of jeans or something small. And in my mind, I'm restricting myself saying, no, I can't do that. And then my husband will come home and he'll have spent $300 or $400 on something. And I'm going, why? But for him, he's worth it. And for me, I'm going, I'm worth it, but not right now. And guess what?
Hmm.
Not right now. It's like one of those free beer tomorrow signs. Tomorrow never comes.
And that is so true. And as moms, especially, we tend to put everyone like if our spouses or our kids want something, we tend, oh yeah, no problem. Don't even second guess it, especially when it comes to our kids. But then for us, we're like, oh no, I can't do that. I'm not worth it. I can't afford it. When we come up with all kinds of excuses when we should really put ourselves first. And I know that's counterintuitive for the way that we were raised, but literally, when we take care of ourselves, we're serving our family, our friends, whoever, from a cup that overflows versus from an empty cup. Because the more you deplete yourself, the more you deprive yourself, the more depressing it gets. And then it's like, why am I even doing all of this? And you want to give up, especially as entrepreneurs. When we go through, especially when we transition through life, like, when we go through the breakups and we rebuild and we start to think about our finances and we're thinking, well, this is how we used to do it, but now I'm doing it this way. And that transition is really challenging. So when you think about putting in systems into place for balancing the business with the personal life, what did you find most helpful?
My son just interrupted me. You're going to have to ask me that one again.
No worries. Mom life.
Yeah.
And does he know he's live?
Yeah. Unfortunately, he does.
Maybe he wants to be interviewed too. So, thinking about the systems that you put in place, retraining your mind to get rid of this saving splurging. When you think about it for applying it to your business and your personal finances, what have you put into place to help you make that shift to keep that thought process? You had mentioned being disorganized and thinking like, how are you getting organized in both your business and your personal finances to help you keep the focus, and what's the end goal?
Well, the end goal is to completely eradicate the credit card debt that I'm in. The systems that I've put in place or that I'm in the process of putting into place are the ones through your community, which I am so thankful for because it's given me the opportunity to actually pay attention. From going to being someone that literally would go to the grocery store and not pay attention to how much any of the items were, let alone the grand total, to actually coming in and looking at it on a weekly basis and realizing that between, just this year alone, the money that is coming in, I normally don't even see it. I don't pay attention to it, which also means that I'm not paying attention to the money that's also going out in the other
Mhm.
direction. But when you're not seeing either one of those transactions, it, you know, when it goes out, you need to know what's going out so that you can plan for it. But when it's coming in, you need to be able to celebrate it. And I wasn't celebrating any of it because I wasn't seeing it. I wasn't paying attention. So now just the simple act of going, oh my gosh, I've made this much money in the short amount of time from January till now, and celebrating that, it makes you open up your energy to want to receive more. It makes you feel like,
Mhm.
yeah, I did this. I'm worthy of this. I can do more. And then when you're looking and paying attention to what's going out, you're like, oh, wow, why was I paying for this for the last 6 months and not using it? Um, Maybe I need to pay attention to the things that I'm paying for that I'm not using and get rid of them and clean that kind of stuff up. So for me, I'm really at the beginning of my money journey or my money adventure. And that has been an eye opener for me. Just being able to
Mhm.
sit down and not freak out every single time that I have to balance the checkbook. And the only thing I see is the credit card debt. Now I'm going back in and I can actually see all of the money that is flowing in. Some days it might be small, some days it might be large, but every single day that there's money flowing in, it's a win.
Money comes in all ways, always.
My favorite quote.
I love that. I love that. And when you think about like you're an entrepreneur, you've dabbled in a few different businesses. Tell us what that experience was like, because I know a lot of our listeners out there are multi-passionate. They love the shiny objects, and I'm one of them. I'm going to confess that I'm a shiny object girl of ways to make money. And I know affiliate marketing is one of my favorite ways to bring in lots of income from different sources. But tell us about your journey and how that's going, especially like with Wilder Profits and the directory.
Well, I would actually have to back up to like 2020 when I became a trauma coach. And I've always been somebody who's been good with people and wants to help people. And I really have a passion for people that are struggling to want to help them. So my goal back then was, hey, I'm going to become a trauma coach. I missed working with people directly because I used to work at a health fitness and wellness clinic, and so I missed actually being with people one on one and speaking with them. And then 2020 hit and I lost my position there. And I decided that because I missed that interaction with people, I was going to become a health coach, but more so the mental wellness and mindset type of a coach. The problem with that is I realized that it's very heavy. I mean, people will unload a lot on you. And if you're not the right person, which I'm not saying that I'm not, but I also just didn't want to live in other people's traumas for an extended period of time. So then I transitioned and I thought, you know what, this is too much. This isn't working for me. And I'm going to switch. And kind of like what you and I were just talking about before jumping on here about the human design and how I've switched. And it's like it literally has been every 10 years. But I've also switched inside of those 10 years. And so I went from being a health coach to strictly looking at affiliate marketing, but I was doing it in the wrong way because I wasn't investing in myself. I was just, I'm going to make money online and I don't care how I do it. And so this is how I'm going to do it with affiliate sales. I didn't know what I was doing and I did it the wrong way. And I spent an entire year of my life putting my energy and my time into affiliate sales that just wasn't working. And shortly thereafter, I was introduced to digital marketing, and digital marketing was amazing for about a hot 6 minutes. But I learned a lot, and that was the background that I really wish I would have learned back when I became a health coach. Because if I would have had the background knowledge then, I might not have burnt out so quickly with it. So long full circle back, it's coming back to school, and it's realizing you have to find your platform, your space that you can show up and want to show up every day. And Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, those were not my thing. School has been the place where I love to show up and I can show up for the people that are there and they're in my community. And because they're there and they're in my community and I'm showing up, it's creating that influx of cash flow. So, I mean, people are starting to open up and they're starting to be like, yes, I want what you have to offer. And it's just been a beautiful thing. And then that's where the affiliate marketing came back into play because I was jilted the other way and I was like, oh, I'm never doing affiliate marketing again. And then all of a sudden I'm going, no, this is how affiliate marketing is supposed to work. I was trading back then, I was trading my time for pennies on the dollar, where now I actually get to promote people and services that I absolutely love, and I just get a thank you for it that's worth my time. So I
Mm,
think it's a lot of figuring out what space you can show up in, how you want to show up. Not just, hey, I can show up here. Like I can show up on TikTok. I was showing up there, but I hated it. So it's finding the space that you can show up in with the energy that you want to live in every day and then building it out from there.
hmm I love that picture that you just painted. It's the truth of what we all go through in that journey. Like we get so inundated with opportunities, and we see people or they show us the success that they're having. We really truly don't know what their success is, but we want to fall into that because we want the money so bad. We want to, we want to be fruitful. We want to be productive. We want to be a partner in our relationships where we're contributing, and we don't want to feel like we're living paycheck to paycheck. So some of those avenues, like the 6 minute, hot minute, digital marketing trends and all of that, yeah, they worked for certain people for a certain time, but I think it all has to do with our passion, because I think all programs work, but they might not work for us because it's not our passion, it's not our zone of genius. And really leaning into who we are and how we perform and what lights us up, and staying on that track and not getting distracted by everything. Like I love challenges, and I've been offered to do several in the last 3 weeks. I'm like, nope, that's not where my attention needs to be. This is my focus. And really having those healthy boundaries so that we can bring in more money and create that reciprocal energy is so important. So I'm glad you found that for yourself and realized, and it's a journey, right? Because if you hadn't have learned those things, you wouldn't have known. And like I think about all the time and energy and money I've spent investing in different programs and thinking, okay, what did I get from this and why did I do that? And all of it was in good fun. Some of it I wish I could take back, especially on my health journey, because I've gone through so many health coaches, and it's like, oh, nothing's worked. And I've done everything, and and you get frustrated. And if it's frustration, then it's not meant for you. And listening to our bodies is the key to knowing what the next step is. So when you have two communities that you're running, to me, I want to pull my hair out thinking about that because I'm good with one community. But I know entrepreneurs who successfully do it. Tell us, like, what is the biggest challenge with running two different communities? Because the directory, tell us more about the directory and then tell us about Wilder Profits.
Well, the directory is my passion project right now, and I'm realizing that that one it's literally taking over my time, my attention, and that's where my energy is flowing. I love that community so much because it allows me to really just show up as me. I can come in there. I don't have to be the expert. I don't have to be prim, proper, and suit and tie. I show up as me, and people are there to celebrate that, which is awesome. Um, I love it because I get to help other people take what they love, what their passions are, and I get to put them up on a stage, basically, is what I'm doing. I get to say, check this person out. How cool is it that they're doing what they're doing, or that they have what they have, or that they offer what they offer? Because everybody has something unique to bring to the table. And I have found that I have attracted so many people that are like, oh my gosh, will you just promote me? And without saying it like that, like when I worked at the health clinic, that was like, I started there in 2009. So it was prior to that, I was just their patient. They hired me because I was constantly referring people to them. And so she's like, you refer so many people here, you might as well just get a job here. And so then I applied, and she's like, you don't even need to apply. You've got the job. And I'm like, awesome. So I worked with her for 7.5 years. And the only reason that I left is because COVID hit and then they had to downsize. So, I mean, it is what it is. But that opened up so many other doors for me. It like showed me a different perspective, a different way of life. And school is doing the same thing. And now my community, like we talked about Wilder Profits, I started that community as a women's only community for moms who are stay-at-home moms that want to create an income from home, and they want to learn how to contribute to their family financially. Um, but I went into it again with one tool, which was digital marketing. And then all of a sudden I realized that one tool wasn't even the tool that I wanted to use.
Mm,
So it's been different because now I'm going, okay, I have this community and I love the women that are in there. They're amazing women. How do I support them in a different way when they came for one reason? How do I shift it to something else? Because my heart is not in the digital marketing portion of it for selling. It's totally in for the learning opportunity that I went through. I think that that's amazing, and I wouldn't deny that part of it. But to have something of your own, to me, just makes much more sense. Something that you're going to
mhm,
put your energy and your fire behind, so that when you do show up every day, it's yours, and you can be proud of it. When sales come in, you can be proud of it. When new people come in, it's yours.
mhm. That I love that. And that realization of understanding, like, how it evolved, and I liked how the directory just took over and kind of enveloped you into it. It's like, no, this is, and that's where you were drawn to, because that's where you were thriving and growing. And that's exactly what we need to pay attention to in our business, because everyone out there listening now, you're thinking, my business isn't thriving. I feel like I'm burnt out. I want to burn it all down. There's a good reason for it. Like, if you're not in your zone of genius, if you're not doing what you love and you think it's hard, then it is. And you're never going to be successful in it, because it's not what is meant. And I'm not saying to walk away and burn it all down. There's times when I wanted to burn down I Date Money. I got so frustrated, but it was because I was marketing and sharing it in a way that I was told to by coaches that wasn't in alignment with how I share. You know, this is one of my favorite platforms. You get me to do a solo interview, and I'm like pulling my hair out, thinking, somebody asked me a question. I mean, I'd rather have an interview style all day long. So knowing that about yourself, and then everything just flows really smoothly. I was, sharing with Heather earlier. I have a client who loves to write. She started on Substack. She got 85 subscribers. That's huge in less than a month. That's where her passion is. And that's when you put your heart, your soul into what your passion is, that's when money just flows in smoothly. It comes in every single day in all ways, because you're doing what you love and you're opening up, you're creating that reciprocal energy and you're celebrating that. So I love what you're doing, Heather. I want you to highlight your directory, how you promote people. I know you're in the works of building that out and creating a package deal for people. So share that and share the opportunity for how people can work with you, the best way to connect with you.
Well, right now I have opened up the directory for small business owners where they can come in and they can actually self promote. There are a couple of rules, but it's super easy. You come in, you share with what it is that you're doing, what you're working on in a conversational marketing, conversational networking style. But then those that are more serious, they bump it up to the premium, which means that they can also share their direct links to their offers, which could be their website, their socials, their Etsy store, wherever their business lives, they can share their link directly to that. So there is absolutely no barrier to whoever comes in and is reading what they have on the screen. They can click the link and they can go directly there. I also highlight for the premium members a weekly events post, so that if they're having an event this week, I can put it up and it's front and center for anybody that comes into the community. Everybody knows what's going on. And now I am working on an actual event package, because I love bringing people in that have unique and fun things that are going on. I just had a gentleman yesterday who is in the fitness and wellness genre. And so he came in and was able to do a little demonstration for any of the people that came onto the call on how to reverse the effects of sitting in front of a computer all day. I mean, we're all on our computer now, hunched over, and now we get to learn how to do it without stretching and without forcing ourselves through it. And it's people like him and people like you, having you on the in my community to do shows or talks. It's awesome because that's that many more people that get a chance to see what you have to offer. So I'm
Hmm.
putting a package together for that that includes things like I'll take care of setting up the Zoom for you. I will email out the event to all of my subscribers periodically leading up to the event. I'll take care of posting it on a few socials. We're getting to the point where we're getting rid of socials. It's not driving the traffic that we thought it was, which we have the statistics now behind it. So that's awesome. But then just also highlighting it and featuring it within the community so that all of the community members, as it grows, can be featured and seen there, see what you have to offer. And the beauty of the whole thing is it is a public school platform. So it's searchable by SEO. So once we have it in there once, I then will take and add Pinterest pins over on Pinterest so that it's constantly driving traffic back to the original post. And that inside that original post, it's going to lead to whatever offer you have. So if it's leading back to your community, or if it's leading back to your website, they come from Pinterest, they see this more blog style post inside the directory, and then they're like, oh, hey, maybe I need to join Lisa's wealth activation community. And then they join through that. So it's kind of a really fun way to highlight people, what they're doing, and keep it more evergreen so that we're not dancing on TikTok to try and get all the views.
I love that. So how do the listeners join in?
They just need to come over to the school platform. It's school.com/the directory, and they can join up there. It's public, so you can actually look at it first and see if it seems like a space that you want to be in. But I'm telling you guys, the more networking that you can do, the more that you can jump in on the conversations, the more doors it's going to open up. I have had so many opportunities be presented just in the short time that the directory has been open, just by having conversations with other business owners.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Heather, for sharing all of that. We really loved having you on the show. For those of you listening, please check the show notes for links to connect to Heather's community. You guys, PR at a cost that is astronomically amazing, because the value that you get for what she does for you. I hosted a Calm Cash Flow workshop last month. Unbelievable. And it's her zone of genius. She creates beautiful graphics, and the way she promotes it, you get visibility. It's better than being in a magazine. Because when you start to invest in you and you get, you say, I want visibility, I want to grow my business, I want clients, but then you sit back and you think, oh, I don't want to do that. Think about this. Are you ready to invest in yourself? Are you ready to put yourself out there? Showcase what you have. You can do it with Heather through the directory. And this is going to bring in more money. And when you have more money, you get to live the dream life, that you get to have the true wealth. Because remember, it doesn't matter how much money you have, it's what you do with it.